Welcome guys, in this video we're going to talk about the difference between classes and structs. A struct is a kind of simple but still composite construct. Okay, so let's take a look at the difference between these two, and you would use that when you don't quite want all the functionality of a class. Okay, so let's type here using system and then namespace sample and class my class, and then public int x, like that, for example. And now you're going to say struct, like that, and then my struct, like this. Alright, so public integer. We can also call it x, why not? Alright. So that's that portion. Now remember, classes are reference types, but structs are simple types. So let's take a look at the results here. Now, we have class test, class, and now public static void and struct taker, and then my struct s. So first of all, this confirms that a struct can be passed into the body of a function or some similar construct, just the way a class object can. See, there you go, my struct. Okay, so that's a data type to be passed in. Alright, now you can also type here s.x then will be equal to 5. So we'll pass the struct in, we'll change the value of x to 5, see? Alright, so now you can also have public static void, and then this will be a class taker, and then my class we'll call this C. So this one can take an object of type my class, and then c.x would be equal to 5, like that. Now this is accessible here because remember we made x public, so it's accessible everywhere. Alright. We're being a little cavalier here, but that's okay for the purposes of just learning this. Okay, so now we're going to say class program. And now we're going to say you can declare objects of my struct kind, you see. And of course the only difference is, as you can see, the icons are different, right? You see, this is my struct. Right, and then a, and this will be equal to new my struct, like that, you see. Now my class will be the next one, b equals new my class, like that. So once is a struct and the other one is a class. Now we can set them, so a.x will be equal to 1, and say b.x will be equal to also 1, like that. Okay, there you go. So let's come back here and type static void main, open close braces. Let's place this inside here, like that. There you go. So at the next stage we're going to call a function, so type test class dot, and then IntelliSense shows us that we have struct taker as one method, so pass the a into it. Okay, so that will pass a into it. Now let's take a look. Test class dot class taker, and then b will go into it. Now we're going to print. So let me delete this code that I have here that I don't need for reference anymore. Okay, so let's print. We're going to type here console.writeLine and then a.x. So this will get the value of x on a and then print that. And then console.writeLine and then b.x, so print x for b. And then at the end we'll just have console.read and then key and close out with a semicolon. We'll just wait for some user input to close the application. Okay, so what have we just done here? Let's review. We have a namespace called says sample. We have a class, then we have a struct, like that. Okay, then we have a class where we test them. We have two different methods, one that takes a struct and the other one that takes a class. Okay, then in static void main we make objects of the two kinds. We set the instance variables, the variables here for a x equals 1 and bx equals 1. Then we call struct taker and class taker. Then we print and then we wait for user input. So here if you go debug and step into, just to see what's happening, give it a sec. There you go, let it load. So make a new struct, make a new class, right, assign values, call the struct taker, as you can see that goes there. Call the class taker, that goes up there, and then display, and then wait for input. And it says 1 and 5, those are the outputs. Okay? Let's close this. This confirms something. First of all, take a look. My struct is A, and I set that x equal to 1, and then I pass that into the body of struct taker, and s.x, then x is set equal to 5, and then we will print that, right? We typed a.x to print it. Notice that the original 1 printed, so that means, in other words, when you called the struct taker, a copy was passed. When you called the class, however, it begins with b.x equals 1. By the end, when you print b.x, however, it prints 5, okay, because that's passing by reference, and for this one it's passing by value, by copy, instead of reference. Okay, so structs and classes are very similar, but structs are usually taken to be simpler, just 2 or 3 things at most glued together into some kind of composite construct, and as you can see, they're passed so that copies are made, which means the original is not affected by whatever you do to the copy, whereas for the classes, the original is affected because things are passed by reference, as we've seen here. Okay? And that is it. So thanks very much, and I'll see you in another video.